Hi everyone, Jennifer here, back with another edition of Movie Talk. And this week's movie is a favorite of mine, and sorry, trying to catch my train of thought here. Well, with 4th of July coming up this Tuesday, I thought it was a good movie to do a review on, and that movie is An American Tail. Fievel is a young mouse who, with his family, leaves Russia for a new and better life in America. But on the voyage, he becomes separated from his family and must find his way back to them through a new country, and discovers that not everything about America is as he's been told. Snickers! Sorry, that was my cat. Okay, highlights of the movie. This movie was made back in 1986. So it's about 30. It's about 36 years old. 36, 37, give or take. And is an animated musical adventure film. And it tells the story of a young immigrant from Russia who gets separated from his family and searches for them. This had one theatrical or in theaters sequel, which was An American Tail, Fievel Goes West, which I have seen and I will do a review on. One TV series entitled Fievel's American Tail, which I have not seen, and 2 direct-to-video sequels, An American Tail, The Treasure of Manhattan Island, and An American Tail, The Mystery of the Night Monster, both of which I have also not yet seen, but I believe I have those 2, and I will watch them and see if I want to do a review on them at all. But they will come after An American Tail, Fievel Goes West, even though they take place, or at least one of them takes place before it. Okay, things I liked about this movie. First off, I like the animation. Now, this movie was made back in the 80s, so it didn't really have a lot of the CG, it didn't have any of the CG animation that we're used to today. But it's still good. They still had a really great animation. They did a wonderful job with like the waves during the ocean storm being transformed into like monsters and stuff, and they did a great job with the secret weapon that the mice build and whatnot. And they did a fantastic job with the animation of this movie. I loved the music. This movie had a lot of fun music in it. Some titles were some 4 songs I can think of off the top of my head were There Are No Cats in America, which is what the mice sing on the boat coming to America. Never Say Never, which is one of the first songs that's performed in America in the movie. And then my 2 personal favorites, Somewhere Out There, which is a cute little, the theatrical version is a cute little song between Fievel and his sister Tanya, even though they're separated. And then there is an end title version, which is just very beautiful. I love that one as well. I love both versions. And then We're a Duo, which is performed by Fievel and Tiger. And I think there's a couple of others, but those are the 4 that really stick out. I loved this story because it not only talked about how and why immigrants came to America, but it also showed some of the hardship that they faced and that some still face. And working long hours in sweatshops to make very little money. In some cases, not knowing the language enough to really provide or get really jobs they had back in their home country. So having to settle for, jobs that they normally wouldn't do, they wouldn't have done in their old country. The kids, particularly, having trouble because they don't speak the language very well with school. A lot of immigrant kids, not necessarily back in this time, but when people were first starting to come to America and they started putting them into schools with American children, they would put them in the low grade, in first grade. And they had to, even if they were like older, and just if their English wasn't all that good, they had to catch up with everyone else, and sometimes it was hard for them. I know that from Dear America. And then also, some did get separated from their families. Coming over to America, some families couldn't come over together. Some got separated on the voyage, like Fievel did with his family. They faced a lot of hardships. Finally, I love the characters. These are characters that, I loved them when I was a kid, and I still love them now. And one of the things I have to point out about this movie that I absolutely love is that while the characters are animals, mice and cats, and pigeons, it's important to point out that they are not anamorphic animals. They are not animals that are portraying people. Do they wear clothes like people? Yes. Do they do things people do? Yes. But they are actually animals that are living in amongst people as they do with us. The mice are, in proportion to the characters in the movie, the same size as mice are in proportion to characters to us, or mice are to us. The cats, same thing. They are proportionately to the mice, the same in the movie, the same size that the cats that our cats are to actual mice. And the pigeons, same thing. So they did a good. So they did that. It's not anamorphic. It is in the human world. It's just focusing on the animals. You do see people, like the people's legs and feet walking around with the mice. You see the human immigrants going on the boat and coming off the boat at Ellis Island. You see human people around New York City because the bulk of this movie takes place in New York City. So we do see that. Another thing I want to point out is we do kind of get a reference point as to when the movie is supposed to take place. because the Statue of Liberty is being constructed in the bay where it is. I forget the name of the island it is on. I want to say Ellis Island, but I don't believe it is Ellis Island. And the one who is constructing it is not a human, it is a pigeon, but he is a French pigeon, which is important because the Statue of Liberty was created by a French artisan and was actually a birthday present from France to America. I forget the actual birthday. I think it was a centennial birthday present, but I could be wrong on that, so don't quote me. But really, fun historical fact, it was not finished in time for our actual birthday. So what happened was they sent over the arm holding the torch so the people could see how big the statue was going to be, and then once it was finished, it was shipped over in pieces and reconstructed on the island where it stands. It was not actually built on the island. I mean, it was, but it wasn't. And our Statue of Liberty is not the only Statue of Liberty. I think there are 2 others, according to National Treasure 2 Book of Secrets. I think there's another one in France as well. And I forget where the 3rd one is. I think there's 3 in total. But ours is, I think, the biggest of the 3. And again, I just wanted to point out that, you know, there are 3 and that it was a birthday present to us from France. And that was something they didn't have to touch on in the movie. They didn't have to make the pigeon French. Henri could have been Henry, and he could have been an American pigeon that was constructing the statue, but they chose to make him a French pigeon constructing the statue to kind of go along with the history of the statue, which I thought was cute. It was something when I first saw it, did not pick up on. I did not know about that until my dad told me. So it was something that kind of just completely went over my head. I thought they did the French pigeon just, you know, to show, oh yeah, we're a land of immigrants. Is what I thought at the time. I didn't realize there was an actual connection there. Okay, cast. This movie had a great cast of actors. And I think some of them actually came back in the second movie. I only really focused on Fievel and his family, his friends, and then the main villain, Warren T. Rat, which, if you think about it, was actually, his name is Warren T., and he was selling protection to the mice, like a warranty. Again, that was something I did not pick up on as a kid, but I'm like, oh my god, that's so funny, when I got older and I noticed that. Okay, before I sign off, a few things I'd like to touch on. First off, a quick reminder on my comment rules. Okay, please leave your comments and questions in the comment section. I do love to read those. Also, feel free to follow me on Wattpad, Tumblr, Instagram, and Twitter. I do have my name for those 4 sites right there on the screen, as well as the pictures I use for the icons. Please note that all pictures seen within this video do belong to their respective artists. I own absolutely nothing. And the links for any sites I mentioned will be in the description section. Okay, YouTube subscribers. Any of my videos that cannot be found on YouTube are on my Facebook page. Facebook friends, basically the same thing. Any of my videos that cannot be found on Facebook are on my YouTube channel. And to anyone who's interested, you can feel free to check out my Facebook group, Fanfic Corner. Okay, please like and share if you're watching on Facebook, or like and subscribe if you haven't already if you're watching on YouTube. And as always, thank you for watching, and have a nice day.